Have you ever felt trapped by your own thoughts, unable to escape the cycle of self-doubt and negativity? Do you wonder how some people manage to maintain inner peace and strength amidst life's challenges? Imagine if there was a way to break free from this mental prison and find true liberation. Join us on a captivating journey, deeply rooted in Buddhist philosophy, where a young seeker discovers the path to overcoming mental weakness and achieving spiritual freedom. This is a tale that promises to touch your heart and inspire your soul. In a small village nestled among the serene mountains of ancient India, lived a young man named Arjun. Despite the picturesque surroundings, Arjun felt anything but peaceful. His mind was a battlefield of worries, insecurities, and fears. Every day he found himself trapped in a cycle of negative thoughts, unable to find solace. One day, as Arjun wandered through the village market, he overheard an old man speaking to a group of villagers. The old man, with a serene aura and eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of the ages, spoke of the Buddha and his teachings. Intrigued, Arjun approached and listened intently. "The Buddha taught that our suffering arises from our own minds," the old man said. "We are prisoners of our own thoughts, but we also hold the key to our freedom." Arjun's heart stirred with hope. Could there be a way to break free from his mental chains? He decided to seek out the old man after the crowd had dispersed. "Sir," Arjun began hesitantly, "how can I learn more about the Buddha's teachings? I want to find peace within myself." The old man smiled kindly. "My name is Mahindra. I see the suffering in your eyes, young one. The path to liberation is not easy, but if you are willing to learn and practice, I can guide you." Arjun embarked on his journey with Mahindra, leaving behind the familiar comforts of his village. They traveled to a remote monastery, nestled in the mountains where the air was pure and the silence profound. The monastery was a sanctuary for those seeking enlightenment, and it was here that Arjun would begin his transformation. Under Mahindra's guidance, Arjun learned the basics of meditation and mindfulness. At first, it was incredibly challenging. His mind was like a wild monkey, jumping from one thought to another. But Mahindra encouraged him to be patient and compassionate with himself. "Every time your mind wanders, gently bring it back to your breath," Mahindra instructed. "It is natural for the mind to wander. What matters is your awareness and your effort to return to the present moment." As weeks turned into months, Arjun began to notice subtle changes. The chaos in his mind started to quiet down, and he found brief moments of peace. He also started to understand the teachings of the Buddha on a deeper level. "The root of suffering is attachment," Mahindra explained one evening as they sat by the flickering light of a lamp. "We cling to our desires, our fears, our identities. By letting go, we can find true freedom." Despite his progress, Arjun still struggled with deep-seated insecurities. One night, as he lay awake in his small cell, memories of past failures and harsh criticisms flooded his mind. Doubt gnawed at him, and he wondered if he would ever truly overcome his mental weakness. The next morning, Mahindra noticed Arjun's troubled expression. "What is on your mind, Arjun?" he asked gently. "I feel like I'm not making any real progress," Arjun confessed. "The negative thoughts keep returning and I feel weak." Mahindra nodded understandingly. "The path to liberation is not a straight line. It is a journey with many ups and downs. Even the Buddha faced immense challenges. Remember the story of Mara, the embodiment of temptation and fear?" Arjun shook his head. He had heard of Mara, but did not know the full story. Mahindra began to recount the tale of the Buddha's enlightenment. On the night of his enlightenment, Siddhartha Gautama, who would become the Buddha, sat under the Bodhi tree, determined to attain liberation. As he meditated, Mara, the demon of illusion, appeared with his army to distract and tempt him. Mara tried to incite fear and doubt in Siddhartha's mind. He sent his daughters to seduce him, his warriors to intimidate him, and finally he challenged Siddhartha's right to seek enlightenment. But Siddhartha remained unwavering. He touched the earth with his right hand, calling it to witness his worthiness. The earth shook, and Mara's illusions were dispelled. Siddhartha's mind was clear and unshaken, and he attained enlightenment, becoming the Buddha. He realized that the power of Mara was nothing but his own mental projections. By facing and understanding his inner demons, he overcame them. Arjun listened, captivated by the story. "So even the Buddha had to face his fears and doubts," he mused. "Yes," Mahindra replied. "And he did so with unwavering determination and deep understanding. Your journey is similar, Arjun. You must face your own Mara, the mental demons that hold you back. By confronting them with courage and compassion, you can transform them. Inspired by the story, Arjun renewed his commitment to his practice. He spent long hours in meditation, observing his thoughts without judgment. He began to see patterns in his thinking, how certain memories triggered feelings of inadequacy, how his fears were often exaggerated. One day, during a particularly intense meditation session, Arjun found himself overwhelmed by a flood of negative thoughts. He felt as though he was drowning in a sea of doubt and fear, but instead of resisting, he remembered Mahindra's words and the Buddha's example. He decided to face his thoughts head-on. With each breath, Arjun visualized his fears and insecurities as dark clouds. He acknowledged their presence, but did not allow them to control him. Slowly, he began to see through the clouds, realizing that they were insubstantial, mere illusions created by his mind. Tears streamed down his face as he experienced a profound sense of release. For the first time, he felt a glimpse of true freedom, a state where his thoughts no longer held him captive. As Arjun continued his practice, he learned another crucial aspect of the Buddha's teachings: compassion. Mahindra emphasized that true liberation is not just about overcoming one's own suffering, but also about cultivating compassion for others. One cannot be truly free while ignoring the suffering of others, Mahindra said. Compassion connects us to all beings and helps us transcend our own limitations. Arjun started to practice loving-kindness meditation, sending thoughts of goodwill to himself and others. At first it felt awkward, especially when directing kindness toward himself. But gradually, he began to feel a warmth in his heart, a genuine sense of care and empathy. One day, while walking through the monastery gardens, Arjun noticed a fellow monk, Ravi, who often seemed troubled. Arjun approached him and struck up a conversation. He learned that Ravi was struggling with his own insecurities and fears. Remembering his own journey, Arjun shared his experiences and the teachings that had helped him. Ravi listened with gratitude, and a bond of mutual support and understanding formed between them. Through these acts of compassion, Arjun found that his own sense of inner strength grew. By helping others, he was also helping himself. Years passed and Arjun's practice deepened. He had faced many challenges, but each one had brought him closer to understanding the nature of his mind and the path to liberation. He had learned to observe his thoughts with equanimity, to confront his fears with courage, and to cultivate compassion with sincerity. One serene morning, as Arjun sat in meditation by a tranquil lake, he felt a profound shift within him. It was as if a heavy veil had been lifted from his mind. The incessant chatter of his thoughts quieted, and he experienced a state of deep, unshakable peace. In that moment, Arjun realized the truth of the Buddha's teachings, that the mind, when purified and understood, is the source of boundless freedom. He felt a profound connection to all beings, a sense of unity and compassion that transcended his individual self. With tears of joy and gratitude, Arjun bowed to the earth, just as the Buddha had done. He understood now that liberation was not a distant goal, but a state of being that could be cultivated in each moment. Arjun returned to his village, not as the troubled young man who had left, but as a beacon of wisdom and compassion. He shared his journey with others, teaching them the practices that had transformed his life. The villagers, inspired by his example, began to explore their own paths to inner peace. Arjun established a small meditation center where people could come to learn and practice. He taught them the importance of mindfulness, the power of facing their inner demons, and the transformative potential of compassion. Under his guidance, many found relief from their mental suffering and discovered a sense of inner strength. Years later, as Arjun sat in the meditation center surrounded by his students, he reflected on his journey. He realized that breaking free from mental weakness was not just about overcoming one's own struggles, but also about helping others find their way. In the quiet of the evening, with the sound of the wind rustling through the trees, Arjun felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He had found his purpose, his path, and in doing so he had discovered the true meaning of freedom. Arjun's story is a testament to the enduring power of the Buddha's teachings. It reminds us that mental weakness and suffering are not insurmountable barriers, but challenges that can be faced and transformed. Through mindfulness, courage, and compassion, we can all find our way to inner peace and liberation. As you reflect on this tale, consider your own journey. What are the mental chains that hold you back? How can you confront them with the wisdom and compassion that Arjun discovered? Remember that the path to freedom is not a destination, but a continuous journey of self-discovery and growth. May you find inspiration in Arjun's story and the strength to break free from your own mental weakness. The Buddha's teachings are a guiding light, illuminating the path to true liberation and inner peace.